Okay, this one's a frustrating one because I had this really good idea. I have a spare bedroom. 2 racks have ended up in there. One of the racks has actually ended up all holiday decoration storage. There's a third rack, though, that's in front of the 2 racks on the wall that started to just collect things like any rack, any horizontal surface does. And I thought, if I empty that, that would be a perfect thing to put right here. At my old place, I didn't have studs, didn't have good studs, and I wanted to hang this big cabinet up. So I made a French cleat for it. Then I added these things so that I could put a bunch of screws into the drywall with anchors to just add more strength. I don't need that anymore because I have studs here. The problem is the space between this, which is not movable, and the cabinet edge. If I drop this line, which I realized I should have dropped this line, but then I measured from here to here, and I added that little bit to a measure from there over to the line, it ends up being 35 inches. And the rack that I want to put here is 36 inches. So it would not fit. It would hit this. There is room to put this thing between the wood rack, right, from our previous videos. If I get rid of that and I move the cleat over and move this cabinet closer, I do have a little bit of room. Even when you open this up, there's still space in there, and that's enough. It's more than the inch that I need. So this is really frustrating because this thing is full of stuff. I need to take everything out of there, then take this off the wall, then unscrew that, take the sides off, they're pocket hole screwed from the back, then move that thing over and figure out where the holes have to go, where the screws go in again. That'll give me enough space in here, and then I can put all kinds of stuff. Like I have larger wooden pieces here that don't fit in the scrap racks. They can go in there. I don't want to do this. This feels like taking a step backwards. But I think that extra 2 inches is going to matter. So let's do it. Let's just do it. So I think this used to be a kid's bedroom, which is why it's shockingly blue. I'm going to get all this cleared off now. You don't have to watch me do that. This is going to probably be an hour of me figuring out where the heck do I just put this handful of stuff. I have no sense of time. That took like 5 minutes. It's just really nice not having that thing in the way anymore. That's a lot more floor space. Yeah, it doesn't fit. It's so close, but yeah, look, it's leaning. And it looks almost good, almost. But these are floating. So yeah, the whole thing's leaning. I was all set to clear off a big space on my work table so I could move everything out of the cabinet onto that space when I suddenly remembered, oh yeah, I just brought a big rack out here. I can put everything there. I got there eventually. Oh, here comes the heavy move. Shout out to all the professional movers out there. I don't know how you do it, especially if you're doing more than one house in a day. Okay, so this is the H. There are pocket hole screws holding these on. I think I must have done one on this side for, probably didn't realize I was on the wrong side, and then the other 3 are on the back. So I just need to take out these 4 screws, and I didn't bother to screw these in here because I was in the studs with 4 screws. However far I'm gonna slide it over, I'm gonna measure and mark so I get it nice, and just go back into the same holes, I think. Holy smokes, the back side of this thing reveals 6 pocket hole screws, 3 in each side. Where the heck did I think this thing was gonna go? I do like to over-engineer, that's for sure. Didn't plan that one well. Right. In order to get the depth right, since I already have these countersinks in there, I can actually push this down and start backing off that stop until I bottom out, and then I can roll the stop back to where it's snug. Should have a positive stop there. Should have a perfectly centered, because I used the fence when I made these the first time. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just measure over from the center. I'll try to eyeball the center as well as I can over 1.5 inches. That's going to put me close to the pocket holes, but it should be fine. It would have been easier when my eyes were a little bit younger. All right. All right, that should do it. First step is to put this, just like that game that won't stop advertising to me, all in whole. Okay, I'm gonna start these a little, probably let them poke out the back a little bit. I'm feeling the back with my finger, just a little bit to poke out. That way we have something to register when we put it up on the wall again. Oh. All right. Whew. Why does that not look further over than it was? I think I put it back in the same screw holes. Bringing this cabinet over here, it tipped forward a little, and I just couldn't. I didn't have enough grip on it to hold it, and it banged pretty hard into my table saw. Not a big deal, but these are the stops at the bottom that match up with the depth of the cleat. This one just was like sitting. It tore out because the screws that were in there were poking out of this thing like this much. I'm going to take those out and put better screws in. I took a flush cut saw here and I just trimmed down to get all that stuff off without tearing out too much. So this plywood here is only, I think, 1/2 inch. So it's kind of hard to get exactly what you need. And if we go inside the carcass, those screws, they poked through. But you know what? In use, I haven't put anything all the way to the back of the cabinet yet. I've been kind of keeping things toward the front, so I'm just gonna let that slide. By the way, that silly like burp, 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 burp that I do all the time, Phillips cans out. So what I do is I go, and it drives a little while also riding up. And then I kind of twist a little and do it again. So as the bit starts to ride up, I stop and kind of reseat low again. It's silly. We should have used square drive. I can't believe I put the screws back in the wrong holes, the old holes instead of the new ones. Why didn't any of you say anything? Now it's on me. Okay, these screws are pretty trashed. 10 by 2.5. This is the box that I used all those years ago. So these are literally the same screws. Okay, you're all gonna watch me do this now. This is the old one where the black dot was. The pencil is the new one. It's the third time I'm putting this back up. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no. I think I ripped the head off that bolt, of that screw. Yikes. Well, I'm not entirely sure how to fix this one, other than carving out the drywall. That's why I always hated wood screws. I grew up with wood screws and building stuff all the time. This kind of screw. And I had so many heads pop off of these things. This is a pretty big screw though. I didn't think that was gonna happen. Okay, it stinks, but here's what I'm gonna do. This side's fine and hopefully the heads hold up. This side has one that is broken off and hard to remove. Just below that, I'm going to use a new screw that I picked up for the scrap racks. One of these Spax washer head screws. Not gonna be perfect and it stinks, but I wanna move on. I just wanna get this thing up on the wall. Fourth time. Okay, and that's one of the things I took out of the cabinet was this Skill brand Forstner bit set. So if we center it well, that should create a little recess. Don't want to go deep. Just enough. Okay, that might be enough. Let's check. This is a very unscientific check, but it looks like it'll be pretty flush if I screw it in that way. How'd we do? Very well, I'd say. Really happy to see that space so much narrower now. That little space in there. Oh boy. Wow, it's a heavy cabinet. Oh boy. Too far. Door still opens all the way. This was never going to be a fun task. I had to take the cabinet off the wall after emptying it, then take the cleat off the wall, modify it in two different ways, hang it back up 1.5 inches to the right, put the cabinet back up and refill it, and then I could finally get back to my life in the shop. Along the way, though, I had probably 5 pretty bad errors, like the screw head snapping and having to figure that out, and putting the screws in the wrong holes, in the original holes in the cleat. So I made this video because it was a lot of work to film all of it in the first place, but also because I don't want this channel to just be all success stories. I want to show the trials and the tribulations, the ups and the downs. All of it's leading somewhere better, so all of it is worthwhile being here. Okay. Okay, I think that was worth sapping my entire day's worth of energy. And then I can start putting things up there. That's gonna fill in pretty quickly. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video there because I don't exactly know what's going up there. I think what I'm gonna do is off camera, as I work and as I'm going around and cleaning, I'll start finding things and going, oh, this belongs up there. And then I can do a follow-up in the next video, maybe just part of the next video. I can do a beginning follow-up where I say, this is where the rack is right now and all the stuff that I've put up there. There's a bunch of stuff that's actually going in something I want to build. So there are a lot of things that could go up there that aren't going to go up there. But for now, thanks for following along today, as all I did was move a cabinet so I could put a rack up. I know all of these first videos are going to be really simple and boring, but that's to create the runway to get to the cool stuff where I actually start building. And I've got a handful, like a half dozen so far, cool things that I want to build. So stay tuned for those, and I'm going to end it right now and get back to work before I fall asleep. All right, see you next time.